You looked in the mirror this morning, and something felt honest. Not bad, just real. And part of you was tired of chasing a version of yourself that keeps moving further away. You've sat in enough salon chairs. You've heard enough vague advice. Go shorter. Try layers. Something youthful. None of it named anything real. None of it felt like it was actually for you. The real you, the woman who's lived in this face and this hair for 60-something years, and just wants to look like herself, only better. This video is different. I'm going to show you 5 real haircuts that work on real women over 60. Real bone structure, real texture, real gray, real lives. No filters. No airbrushing. No versions of 60 that look like 40. And part 3 covers the one cut that most stylists won't suggest first, but that changes everything about how your eyes read in a photograph. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The soft layered bob. The cut that works with your bone structure, not against it. Here's what nobody says out loud in the salon. Most bobs are designed for younger faces. There. Someone said it. The classic chin-length blunt bob, the one everyone seems to default to after 60, was built for a face with tight skin, a strong jaw, and high collagen. That's not a criticism. That's just physics. And if you've been wearing a blunt bob for years wondering why it always feels slightly off, this is why. The blunt bob does one thing really well. It creates weight. And after 60, weight in hair tends to pull features downward. It emphasizes any softening along the jaw. It shortens the neck visually. It flattens the cheekbone line. That's 4 things working against you before you've even dried it. The soft layered bob is a different animal entirely. It keeps the general bob silhouette, the length, the ease, the low maintenance appeal, but it removes internal weight through point cutting and adds movement that draws the eye upward. And the upward eye movement is everything. That's the secret nobody's talking about loudly enough. Here's what that actually looks like at the salon. You ask your stylist for a bob that falls just below the jaw, not at it, with internal layers point cut through the mid-length, and ends left slightly textured rather than blunt. You ask them to leave the top section with enough weight to create soft volume at the crown. That's the full brief. That's specific enough that a good stylist knows exactly what you mean. The maintenance on this cut is genuinely simple. Every 6 to 8 weeks for a trim. Between appointments, a small amount of a lightweight curl cream or texturizing spray worked through the mid-lengths while hair is damp keeps the movement alive without any heat styling required. That's it. This one is the one a close friend of mine heard and immediately called her stylist. She'd been wearing the same blunt bob for 11 years. She cried a little, good tears, when she saw the difference a single point cut session made. What to swap? If you're still reaching for a blunt jaw-length bob cut straight across with no internal movement, swap it for a soft layered version that falls just below the jaw with point cut ends. The length stays almost identical. The effect on your face is not even close to identical. Coming up next, the one cut that takes the most courage to ask for, but that most women in their 60s say they wish they'd tried 10 years earlier. Part 2. The modern pixie with weight. Not the one you're thinking of. Bold statement. The pixie cut is the most misunderstood haircut for women over 60. Not because it's wrong, because the version most women picture is wrong. There's a pixie cut that ages you. And there's a pixie cut that makes you look like you've figured something out that most women are still searching for. They are not the same cut. They don't even look the same. The version that ages you is the one cut very short and very uniform. Close on the sides, close on the back, close on top. No variation in length. No retained weight anywhere. That cut strips your face of its frame. After 60, when the face naturally softens and loses some of its angular definition, removing every ounce of framing hair tells the full story of that softening in one go. You see it all, which is not the goal. This one is everything. The modern pixie with weight. It keeps the spirit of a short cut, the ease, the boldness, the absolute refusal to be anything other than confident, but it retains length and volume specifically at the crown and temples. The sides and back are tapered, yes, but the top stays long enough to style with direction. That directed crown volume does what younger women pay surgeons for. It pulls the eye upward, lifts the visual center of your face, and makes your cheekbones red like they're front and center. Honestly, this is the cut I watched a woman in a salon chair walk out of wearing like armor. 68 years old. Stunning cheekbones she'd been accidentally hiding under longer hair for a decade. The stylist took 3 inches off the back and sides, kept the top, and aimed everything forward and upward. She looked in the mirror and went completely quiet. The good kind of quiet. Ask your stylist for a disconnected pixie. That's the industry term. Short at the nape, graduated through the sides, but crown length retained at a minimum of 2 to 3 inches and styled with a small amount of pomade or a light wax aimed slightly forward. The finish is clean. The effect is dramatic. The upkeep is a trim every 4 to 5 weeks to keep the taper sharp. What to swap? If you're picturing a pixie and fearing it, you're probably picturing the uniform close crop. Ask specifically for the disconnected pixie with crown weight. Show your stylist the term. It changes the conversation immediately. I didn't expect part 3 to be the one people message me about most. But it always is. Part 3, the long layered cut with face framing. The one that changes your eyes in photos. There's one thing about long hair after 60 that nobody in this space talks about honestly enough. Length alone does nothing for you. Nothing. You can have hair to your shoulders, to your collarbone, past your collarbone. And if there are no face framing layers, no internal movement, and no deliberate shaping around the front sections, that length is actually working against you. Hanging weight pulls the face down. And downward is the one direction none of us need more of. This is the one people message me about most. And I think it's because most women who've kept their hair long after 60 feel like cutting it is the only option. Like length and aging are in conflict by definition. They're not. The conflict is between weight and movement. And you can have long hair with movement. You just have to ask for the right thing. The long layered cut with face framing is exactly what it sounds like, but the specific placement of those framing layers is where most stylists get it slightly wrong. Generic face framing follows the jaw. It adds curtain layers that cup the cheek. That looks soft, yes. But it doesn't lift anything. The framing layers that actually change your eyes in photographs are the ones placed higher, starting at the temple, angled back toward the crown, so that the front section creates a diagonal line rather than a round one. That diagonal line draws the eye up and outward toward your temple, and your beautiful eyes sit right in the middle of that upward visual line. Here's what to say at your appointment. You want long layers with temple-led face framing, meaning the shortest face framing piece starts at the temple, not the chin, and is cut on a diagonal angle rather than rounded. You want internal layers point cut through the mid-length and below to remove hanging weight without removing overall length. And you want the very ends left slightly textured rather than blunt. That's the brief. A stylist who hears that knows exactly what they're holding the scissors for. Maintenance is easy. A trim every 8 to 10 weeks to keep the face framing angle clean. The internal layers grow out gracefully. This cut is genuinely forgiving between appointments. Write this one down. Temple-led diagonal face framing. It's the one thing that changes what people see when they look at your eyes in photographs, and it's 2 extra words at your next appointment. What to swap? If you've been keeping long hair with a heavy mid-part and no framing, swap to a slightly off-center part and ask for temple-led diagonal face framing. The length stays. The effect on your eyes in every single photograph you take from now on does not stay the same. The next mistake is the one I see most often, and the most expensive one to fix if you leave it too long. Part 4. The textured crop with soft fringe. The cut that solves fine and thinning hair. Fine hair after 60 is not a problem. Say that again and actually hear it. It's not a problem. It's a hair type with a completely different set of rules. The real problem is when you apply the same cuts and styling habits that work on thick hair to fine hair, and then feel like something is always missing, always flat, always slightly less than it should be. That missing feeling? That's not your hair failing you. That's the wrong cut for your texture. And there's a very specific cut that works with fine and thinning hair after 60 instead of fighting it every morning. Here's the insight that most people skip. Fine hair doesn't lack volume. It lacks the structural support to hold volume. That's a critical difference. Heavy cuts weigh fine hair down. Long cuts pull it flat at the roots within an hour of styling. The solution is a shorter length that removes the gravitational drag, and a soft fringe that shortens the face visually and draws the eye forward, adding the illusion of density where density matters most. At the front of the hairline, the textured crop with soft fringe is not a severe cut. It's not short in the way a pixie is short. It typically sits just above or at the ear on the sides, with a slightly longer section through the top, and the fringe falls soft and slightly asymmetrical, roughly at eyebrow level or just below. The texture is everything. This cut relies on point cutting and razoring through the crown to create individual strand movement. When individual strands move, the hair looks fuller even when it isn't. That's the trick. Movement reads as density, and density after 60 is exactly what your bone structure deserves to have framing it. Honestly, this is the cut I see transform fine-haired women the most visibly and the most quickly. And the most common thing they say afterward is some version of, "I didn't know my hair could do this." What to ask for? A textured crop with a razored or point-cut finish through the crown and top, with a soft asymmetrical fringe at or just below the brow. Ask for the fringe to be cut dry rather than wet. It ensures the final length lands exactly where you want it on your face rather than sitting shorter than expected when dry. Maintain with a trim every 5 to 6 weeks. Use a lightweight volumizing mousse at the roots while damp, then fingerstyle or use a small round brush with low heat. Never drag a brush through dry. The curl and texture hold better, and your scalp thanks you. What to swap? If you've been keeping length in the hope it makes fine hair look like more hair, swap it for this crop. Length plus fineness equals flat. Shorter plus texture equals full. The maths is that clear. There's one thing about the final cut in this series that I've been saving. It's the one that works on the most women. And it's next. Part 5. The collarbone cut with internal layers. The most versatile haircut over 60. Every single part in this video has covered a different type of woman, a different texture, a different level of boldness. And I've been saving the most versatile cut for last, because this is the one that works across the widest range of face shapes, bone structures, hair types, and comfort levels. The collarbone cut with internal layers. It doesn't require a dramatic change. It doesn't require short hair. And it doesn't require anything except a stylist who understands where to put the weight and where to let the movement live. The collarbone cut, meaning a length that finishes right at or within an inch of the collarbone, is not a random number. That length was chosen deliberately by some of the most experienced stylists working with mature women, because of what it does structurally. At that exact length, the hair is short enough to avoid the gravitational downward pull of longer hair, but long enough to create movement across the collarbone and chest, which draws the eye across the upper body rather than straight down the face. That horizontal visual line is a quiet miracle for elongating the neck and lifting the overall impression of the face. It's almost like it shouldn't work as well as it does. Yes, that's simple. The internal layers are where most stylists either save this cut or waste it. The layers should not be surface layers, not face framing, not graduation at the ends only. Internal, which means they're cut underneath the surface of the hair, removing weight from the inside without visibly shortening the exterior length. You can't see them as individual layers when the hair is styled. What you see is movement. What you feel is how much lighter your hair suddenly is. What your face feels is the absence of all that downward drag. Ask your stylist for a collarbone length cut with internal weight removal. Specify internal, not surface layers, and ask them to leave the ends point cut rather than blunt. That last detail is the one most people forget to ask for and regret immediately when the blunt ends start looking boxy within 3 weeks of growing out. This is the one a friend of mine described as the cut I've been accidentally 1 centimeter away from for 15 years. She meant it. The previous versions were close in length but missed the internal weight removal. 2 words at the salon, internal layers, and 15 years of frustration became something else entirely. What to swap? If you've been going to the salon and asking for a trim, and leaving with the same shape every time, this is the appointment where you name something specific. Collarbone length, internal layers, point cut ends. You can bring this exact language. Your stylist will understand every word of it. Maintain every 8 to 10 weeks. Between appointments, the internal layers continue to release weight as the hair grows, which means the movement actually improves slightly before your next trim. This cut grows out gracefully, which is rarer than it should be. What I'm covering next is something most stylists won't start the conversation with, but it's the one change that lands before the cut even begins. You just learned 5 real haircuts. Not filtered, not airbrushed, not designed for someone 20 years younger. You know the difference between a blunt bob and a layered one. You understand what directed crown volume does that no one explained before. You've got the language to walk into any salon and ask for exactly what your face and your hair actually need. That's not small. You didn't just watch a video. You changed how you look the next time you sit in that chair. Boom! Your bone structure was always this stunning. Now you have the words to let it show. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 cuts are you walking into your next salon appointment to ask for? I want to know. Next time, we're getting into the one color placement mistake that adds years to mature hair, and most women don't even know their colorist is making it. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.